Hi, my name is Brittany Amakakolin with my matrix number CN240185.
My name is Chang Zilei. My metric number is AN240157.
Hi, I'm Joanne Goh Jia-en, matrix number AN240159.
Now let us start with the introduction of our topic of fatty acids. In chemistry, particularly in biochemistry, a fatty acid is a carboxylic acid with an aliphatic chain which is neither saturated or non-saturated. Most naturally chorally fatty acids have an unbranched chain of an even number of carbon atoms, which form 4 to 28. You can see at the below picture, and there is many type of acid, got different structure, different change, different type of change between all the acids. This is the example such as oleic and then linolenic acids.
Hi everyone, today I'm going to share about the roles, types, and significance of fatty acids in natural products. In role of fatty acids, there are metabolic energy source, nutrient absorption, and immunomodulatory effects. In metabolic energy source, it serves as concentrated source of metabolic energy in the body. It maintains metabolic homeostasis, which are the dysregulation of lipid metabolism can lead to obesity, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. The quality and type of dietary lipids significantly influence metabolic health outcomes. In nutrient absorption, is maintaining overall health and ensuring the adequate supply of essential nutrients to the body. Lipids are crucial for brain health, with compounds like DHA being essential for cognitive and visual functions. Imbalances or deficiencies in specific lipids have been linked to neurological disorders, including Alzheimer's disease. While in immunomodulatory effects, it maintains immune homeostasis and protect against pathogens and other foreign invaders. It contributes to the protective effects of omega-3 fatty acids against chronic inflammatory diseases. The balance between the saturated and unsaturated fats is vital. High intake of saturated fats is linked to increased LDL cholesterol and a higher risk of heart disease, whereas unsaturated fats, especially omega-3 fatty acids, are protective. Now I'm going to present about the types of fatty acids. There are 6 types of fatty acids. The first type is saturated fatty acids. Its hydrocarbon chain of the fatty acid contains no double bond. This is one of the example of saturated fatty acid. Saturated fatty acids have the simplest structural configurations among other fats due to the absence of any double bond or branching. Animal fats are saturated while plant and fish fats are unsaturated. The next type is unsaturated fatty acids, which are carbon atoms do not have the maximum possible hydrogen atoms bound to carbon atoms. This is one of the example of unsaturated fatty acid. Unsaturated fatty acid contain one or more double bonds in their hydrocarbon chain, which prevents them from being saturated with hydrogen atoms. Next is about the monounsaturated fatty acids, which the fatty acids with one double bond. This is the one of the example of monounsaturated fatty acid. Monounsaturated fatty acids, also known as MOFAs, are a type of healthy fat that can have beneficial effects on heart health. The main types of MOFAs include oleic acid, palmitoleic acid, and vaccinic acid. They are found in various foods such as olive oil, avocados, and nuts. The fourth type of fatty acids is polyunsaturated fatty acids, which the fatty acids with two or more double bonds. This is the one of the example of polyunsaturated acids. Polyunsaturated acids are essential for brain function. It must be obtained from food as the body cannot make them, and is are good for heart health. Next is about the branched-chain fatty acids. It is a saturated fatty acids with one or more methyl branches on the carbon chain. This is one of the example of branched-chain fatty acids. They are primarily found in bacteria and certain foods such as dairy products, where they may contribute to health benefits associated with full-fat dairy consumption. Next is about the hydroxy fatty acids, which the hydroxyl function groups attach to the principal chain. They can be both saturated and unsaturated and may have branches or double bonds. Next, I'm going to present about the significance of fatty acids. They are major sources of energy. Most diets contain a great deal of fatty acid in the form of triacylglycerol, which is esters with glycerol. Some of our dietary carbohydrate is converted to fat, stored as triacylglycerol in adipose tissue. The first is major sources of energy. Subsequently, the fatty acids from this fat are released to provide energy for various aerobic tissues. Next is about the precursors of essential substances in the body. For example, phospholipids are essential components of all cell membranes and of plasma lipoproteins, and the essential fatty acids are precursors of prostaglandins are related regulators. Next is about the defects in fatty acid metabolism are involved in diseases. Defects in the mitochondrial acyl-CoA dehydrogenases, for example, prevent normal fatty acid oxidation. That's all from me. Now I will pass to the next presenter.
Next, I'm going to talk about fatty acids. Fatty acids is a fundamental component of lipids found in both plants and animals. Fatty acids are a type of carboxylic acids that typically have a long hydrocarbon chain and a terminal carboxyl group, which we write as COOH. These components are critical because they make up fats and oils, which serve as an important energy source and structural component in living organisms. One way we classify fatty acids is by checking for double bond in their carbon chain. The presence or absence of these double bonds determine if the fatty acid is saturated or unsaturated. Now looking at their general structure, fatty acids can be represented by the formula CH3CH2NCOH. Here N is a variable number depends on the length of the carbon chain. It could be short, medium or long. This basic structure is common to both saturated and unsaturated fatty acid. However, it's the double bond in saturated fatty acid that set them apart from their saturated counterpart. This can help us to dive deeper into how fatty acids function in biological systems. Now, let's take a closer look at the structure of fatty acids. A fatty acid is made out of two main parts. First, there is a long carbon-carbon chain which is non-polar and often referred to as the tails. Second, there is the carboxyl group which is polar and acts as the head of the molecule. As you can see here, the hydrocarbon chain consists of carbon and hydrogen atoms, while making it hydrophobic or water repelling. On the other hand, the carboxyl group shown here is hydrophilic, meaning it can interact with water. This visual model will help us to understand three-dimensional structure of fatty acids. Notice how the straight hydrocarbon chain will form a linear tail while the carboxyl group form the functional head. Finally, fatty acids can either be saturated or unsaturated. Saturated fatty acid had no double bond between the carbon atom, so the chain is straight. And in contrast, unsaturated fatty acids contain one or more double bonds, causing bends or kicks in the chain. This structural difference between saturated and unsaturated fatty acid has important implications for their physical properties and roles in biological systems, which we will explore further in the next slide. Next, let us explore to the type of fatty acids, starting with saturated fatty acids, or SFA. Okay. Saturated fatty acids are mainly found in animal fats and some tropical oils. Some common examples include butter, lard, coconut oil, palm oil, cheese, and whole milk. And as we know, butter is rich in citric and palmitic acids, and also coconut oil will also high in lauric acids, and cheese and whole milk has both contain various saturated fat. You can see here, many of these foods are staples in diet around the world. On the other hand, we also have monosaturated fatty acids, or MUFA, which are widely recognized for their heart health benefits. Example for food rich in MUFA will include olive oil, avocados, almonds, and also peanuts, as well as peanut oils, which also contain oxalic acids. And you can see the structure in below. Oleic acid is the key monosaturated fat present in this food, contributing to their beneficial effects on cardiovascular health. Okay, for understanding this type of fat, we can consider that the importance for the making more healthy diet choice. Next, we also can see this a polyunsaturated fatty acids, which is PUFA. Okay, this includes essential fatty acids like omega-3 and omega-6. For example, fatty fish such as salmon and sardines, which are rich in organic-3, which is EPA and DHA, and also flaxseed and flaxseed oil. These two is an alpha-linolenic acid, which is called as omega-3, and also walnuts, ALA omega-3, sunflower oils, and also soybean oil and corn oil, which is rich in omega-6 PUFAS. Okay, another one is trans fatty acids. Trans fatty acid normally will classify as two groups. One group is racemic acid, and another group is conjugated linoleic acids, which is CLA. For example of these two natural trans fatty acids is beef, lamb, cheese, and butter. These things are rich in various type of acids, which is palmitic acids and also got saturated fat.
Hello, my name is Brittany and I'm Michael Colin, where my registration number is CN240185. Okay, next I will be presenting about biological importance. Okay, first we have energy source, which is the fatty acids are the major energy source, especially during fasting or prolonged exercise. Next is they yield more ATP per molecules compared to carbohydrate, which is the ATP is the primary energy carrier in all living organisms. It is like the energy currency of the cells. Next is cell membrane structure. Phospholipids in cell membranes are composed of fatty acids. They also influence membrane fluidity and functions. Next is precursors to bioactive molecules. Omega-3s and omega-6 fatty acids are precursors for eicosanoid, which is regulate inflammations, immunity, or any other physiological functions. As the first biograms, it shows the chemicals compositions of prostaglandin, which is it can call as omega-3. For the second diagram, it is a leukotriene, which is it is a omega-6 diagrams. Okay, next is health benefits. First is heart health. Omega-3 fatty acids such as EPA, DHA will reduce triglyceride level, low blood pressures, and prevent arrhythmias. Arrhythmia is the conditions where heartbeat beating abnormally. Next is brain functions. DHA is a major component of brain tissue which it will support cognitive developments and functions of the brain. Next is anti-inflammatory effects. Omega-3s and omega-6 fatty acids are precursors for eicosanoid, which regulate inflammations, immunity, and any other physiological functions. Next is improve metabolisms. It will balance intakes of the fats that helps regulate insulin sensitivity and weight. Lastly is skin and hair health. Essential fatty acid can keep skin moisturized and hair shiny. Next is pharmaceuticals applications. For the pharmaceutical applications, firstly we have soaps and detergents where fatty acids are key ingredients in the soap production such as for the saponification process. Next is cosmetic and skincare. They use in creams, lotions, and lip balm for the emollients and moisturizing properties. For emollients is the types of the medical moisturizers that use to soften and soothe dry skin, particularly in the conditions like eczema and psoriasis. Next is the food industry, used as emulsifier, stabilizers, and flavor enhance in the processed foods. Next is biofuel. Fatty acid methyl esters such as FAM are used to produce biodiesels. Lastly is lubricants and coatings. It used in making biodegradable lubricants and protective coating. For the last applications is industrial applications. For the industrial applications, fatty acid will be used as drug delivery systems. Fatty acids can enhance the drug solubilities and absorptions in the lipid-based formulations. Next is the treatments of mental health disorder. where the omega-3 supplements are used in adjunct therapy in depressions, bipolar disorders, and ADHD. Next is cholesterol-lowering agents. Omega-3 fatty acids will help reduce LDL cholesterol and increase HDL cholesterol. Next is anti-cancer potentials. Some studies show that certain fatty acids may inhibit cancer cells growth. For the last one is wound healing and anti-infective agent. Fatty acids are components in topical formulations for the skin healings and the antimicrobial activities. Next, I will pass these presentations to the next presenter.
Now, let I make a conclusion of our topic fatty acids. Fatty acids are an essential building blocks of lipids and plays a critical role in energy storage, cell membrane structure, and also overall metabolism. Structurally, they consist of a carbon chain with a terminal carboxyl group, which is COOH. They are vary in length and saturation. They are classified into saturated, monosaturated, polyunsaturated, and trans fatty acids based on the presence and configuration of double bonds in their carbon chains, which all the things that we already stated in the before slide. Natural source of fatty acid include both plants and animal products with saturated fats common in animal fats and unsaturated fat in vegetable oils, nuts, and also natural transfer fats found in the derived foods. And for understanding fatty acids, it's very important to make an informed natural choice as their impact our health in different ways. Some promoting well-being, while others, particular interaction trans fats are linked to the chronic diseases. Thank you.